Welcome everyone to our podcast. This week we'll be updating y'all on our action plan. I'm James Abruzzo, and these are my group members.
Sophia Bizzoni.
Emma Hugo.
John Goodermote.
Okay, so now each of us will begin by going over our skills or traits and one way that they show up in our lives. How about you start, James?
I've been working on my risk acceptance because I have very creative ideas, but I never take chances on them. Even in my everyday life, I'm very schedule-oriented, and I would like to do other things, but if there's a chance that it would backfire, I don't do it. I've also been working on being more sporadic in my activities. Another weakness that brings out my risk acceptance down is that I'm very quiet until I feel comfortable in my current situation. Once I find my voice, I'm very talkative and I'm able to take more risks. What about you, Emma?
I've been working on improving my optimism because my tendency towards pessimism sometimes strains my relationships and limits my confidence in uncertain situations. I often expect the worst, and it leads me to misinterpret situations, withdraw, or avoid addressing concerns directly. In my relationships, this can create unnecessary distance, and in academic or professional settings, it can cause self-doubt and hesitation before taking on new challenges, like you, James. This mindset has made me overly cautious at times, preventing me from fully engaging in opportunities for growth and success.
I've been working on my action orientation because I like to procrastinate before deadlines, which has really hurt my productivity. This procrastination also shows up in my punctuality as I'm frequently late. And finally, I have lots of great ideas that constantly never get done because of my procrastination, nor do I find the time to actually start them.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that, John, as my weakness is execution. I've been working on improving my execution of ideas because I often find that I have really creative ones, but I fail to properly find the resources to bring those ideas to life. For example, I find it difficult to fathom how to turn a prototype into a full-on product, especially when it comes to finding the right tools and people to help me. Once the brainstorming phase is completed, it is super common for me to find myself in this abyss of confusion. This also tends to affect my strengths such as optimism, like you, Emma, meaning that the whole EMP mindset can falter for me.
Yep, that's super relatable, Sophia. That actually reminds me of a TED Talk I listened to written by Sean Acker, a Harvard researcher and speaker who demonstrates high levels of optimism through his work on happiness and success. This might help you when you feel your optimism begins to weaken. In his TED Talk, The Happy Secret to Better Work, he explains that happiness fuels success by improving performance and resilience. His research shows that training the brain to focus on positive aspects through gratitude and mindset shifts can lead to better outcomes. When optimism is lacking, people are more likely to develop learned helplessness, where repeated failures make them believe they have no control. Martin Seligman's research found that pessimistic individuals experience higher stress and lower motivation, making challenges feel overwhelming and leading to missed opportunities. Before learning about Acker's research, I assumed optimism was just staying positive during tough times. Now I see it as a mindset that builds confidence and resilience.
I actually had a really similar experience because I listened to the TED Talk, How to Discover Your Business's Competitive Advantage, which really helped me see how execution is all about your work ethic and ability to think outside the box. John and James, this could honestly help you too. In the TED Talk, Christina Junqueira and Elena Crecia talk about how a big part of discovering your advantage is your ability to continuously improve and adapt to the market conditions around you.
Thanks for the recommendation. Personally, I know that I struggle particularly with risk acceptance, so maybe seeing it from an objective standpoint in terms of market conditions can help calm my nerves since there's more solid evidence pointing towards a guaranteed success.
To add on to that, the ability to improve heavily relies on executing ideas that will be suitable for the market conditions at the time. This could be helpful in explaining the importance of being able to adequately take action in the midst of maintaining my resources.
That sounds like a really good idea. I have a question for you, Sophia. How much progress has been made with your skills since listening and reading to your various sources?
Well, specifically during the I&E challenge, I created replicas of the bingo cards, and this honestly has really improved my everyday life. I find myself being way more willing to take on creative solutions and honestly just thinking on my feet quicker as a whole. I think it's really important to just be a doer, and execution means a lot when you just do things first rather than procrastinating like John said. I honestly feel like that could help you a lot, Emma, as well, since I'm more optimistic about things, whereas Emma tends to be much more pessimistic. Through simple communication, lately, we have been able to effectively bounce ideas off of each other, meaning that I can kind of become slightly more wary of ideas rather than just blindly optimistic, and Emma can be more positive about new ideas that she originally might have not been fond of.
Yeah, I completely agree. I found that as well lately. I've had a good outlook that ideas will work, especially during the I&E challenge. Every day I've been writing down 3 things to be grateful for, and have been seeing positive results in every aspect of my life.
I've become a lot more action-oriented in my schoolwork, often finishing assignments early. In terms of the I&E challenge, my strengthened action orientation played a large part in physical sales generation.
Yeah, I had trouble accepting our final product because I thought it was imperfect and gimmicky. But then I remembered that if you think your first prototype is perfect, then you've worked on it for too long. Honestly, Emma, I think that our ability to identify where to start can help others who struggle with initiating tasks by providing clear direction and breaking down first steps. I also think Sophia's need for structure highlights the importance of creating roadmaps or brainstorming sessions, which can benefit anyone feeling stuck at the beginning of a project. I mean, Sophia, what did you take away from this?
I think I can speak for all of us when I say our key takeaways were that we looked at each other's specific EMP plans and saw that John and my own EMP plans align in that they both face challenges with taking action and executing tasks efficiently. Similarly, James and Emma share a focus on risk acceptance and optimism, which sometimes leads them to doubt certain decisions. Both pairs will support each other by fostering accountability while also remaining patient with one another's personal growth.
Building on that, we also want to keep sharing strategies so we can learn from each other's strengths. While we're all watching TED Talks and reading articles, we're each focusing on different topics that align with our individual weaknesses. This allows us to gain unique insights and bring diverse perspectives to the group. By exchanging what we learn, we can help each other grow more efficiently.
This exchange of knowledge has been especially valuable because sharing our strengths and weaknesses has allowed us to give advice to one another. By recognizing when to lean on our strengths and when to push ourselves to improve, we're not just encouraging growth individually, but also strengthening our team as a whole.
Exactly. And beyond just learning, exploring our weaknesses with each other has 100% made us feel less lonely in these efforts, as well as has made us much more vulnerable with each other, allowing for a closer relationship with each other.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to our podcast. We appreciate it.